That's a choice you can make.
Sorry, I'm a bit allergic to the the pick that Damwon just locked in on R5. They had everything going for them.
Yeah.
Oh man.
No,
well,
this was their wild card. It's
this,
like, and
if that
we
was,
will trump you with the 0-12 Lee Sin.
The thing here is, if that was just an Ornn and Silas went into the jungle and you played the same early game once again with setup and top lane, you get magic resistance on every champion, and then you have the ornaments and you have a defensive Ornn ultimate against DRX's team composition, I don't know what the hell Dragon X would ever hope to do in the mid game. I really have no clue. But now Damwon, in between games, they decided, you know what? I want to have a little bit of more early game pressure. That wasn't the problem last game. In fact, that could lead to a lot more volatility. And now Varus Karma, they should have even bigger edge against Ezreal set down in bottom, and this set's going to be even more of a problem in this game number 2.
Yeah, going to be absolutely anemic. And it's not like Lee Sin is going to crush Sejuani before she's strong as well. Both of these champions do like to get to that level 6 before they really do anything. And yes, Lee Sin's going to have a little bit of skirmishing power as we move into the early game, but I just don't think it's going to be enough.
That Baron doesn't end the game. It's just worse every single day of the week. The fact that they did it doesn't change the point about the macro play. But they managed to close out the game, so just in the history books now. They're 2-0 up in the series. They're probably feeling really comfortable, and I think Chovy had an immaculate performance here in game number 2. I gave him the MVP vote. Didn't even have to shill for it this time.
Nope, he straight up earned it. It was fantastic performance. Remember, he had a 700 gold bounty on his head for, I think, almost the entirety of the game. As this was Deft getting a little bit overeager and not actually finding the piercing arrow either. This was Doran doing exactly the same thing. But ultimately, in the end, it didn't actually matter, as the rest of DRX were able to come together and find the victory that they were looking for. But it's looked a lot closer than in game number 1, and we'll see whether maybe that shows us that we might get more than just a 3-game series. Dragon X certainly hoping for those for just 3 games, because that will put them in the best position possible to try and take down a T1 that are lying very scarily in that second position, waiting for the winner of this series. But as DRX gets more and more advantages and more wins under their belt, it is getting scarier and scarier for T1, who are watching on and seeing these rookies and experienced players really styling here up against Damwon Gaming.
And this was the team fight right before the Infernal. So remember, Canyon was dead. As Doran, he rushes in, and look at the trust that they have in one another on all of their spell casts, as Keria doing so much work inside of the team fight as well. And they just,
I think Keria is almost low-key the MVP of this entire series, to be honest. There's been too much flashiness out from Chovy and Deft so far.
I think that Keria would I think Keria's are actually a really good argument for MVP this game, all around. But there were a lot of key points that Chovy helped enable that were really game swinging, even though Keria was really integral at basically holding the bridge firm in the early and mid transition.
Yeah, and we're gonna see this fight one more time from a slightly different perspective. As you can see, Keria just, I felt like Dragon X were also diving in, just understanding that they'll get the big shield coming through from the Inspire out of this Karma. It's really, really cool seeing this team finally coming together and actually finding the teamwork that I think was missing in especially the first few games of the second round robin. So really great to see. Once again, Deft doing a hell of a lot of damage. 2k less than last game, but certainly didn't have the early lead that he showed us in game number 1. So DRX, 30-minute victories back to back. We'll see whether Damwon can actually put up more of a fight as we